nice session. Also, he's also on Twitter, so if any of you want to send questions to him via Twitter, he will answer them. So, ladies and gentlemen, Robert Llewellyn.
Thank you. There is a wonderful delay. I think it's going to make this one of the more interesting Q&As that's ever been attempted in the history of the human race. Yes, so if you want to ask any questions, please ask a question, but then there may be a small gap, which is partly due to me being thick and partly due to the slight delay.
Any questions?
Right.
Any questions from anyone?
Yeah. No one's got any questions.
What was your favourite thing about playing Crichton? Your favourite?
To be, if I'm really honest, the most favourite thing of all was the shower that I had after we recorded. That was tantamount to a genuine erotic experience. Have the rubber peeled off and have a shower was lovely. But no, the truth is that I think it's working with the cast and crew was just the best fun. You know, we really get on well. I can never remember any other job I've done where I've laughed so much I've had to lie down on the floor on the floors because I can't breathe. Because everyone just cracks me up on that show, so it's really fun to do. It's gone all quiet now.
Hi there.
Oh, hello.
In DNA, when Crichton tells Lister that he wants to talk to him about his penis, you both look as if you're struggling not to corpse. Was that the case, do you remember?
It was one of the harder scenes to film. I mean, interestingly, I really didn't want to do that episode because I didn't want to not have the mask on that long. I'd done a couple of other tiny cameos, like 1 or 2 lines without the mask on as other characters. Has it gone all dark in your room? So I found it really, really difficult to go on that set. I was so used to being on that set in the Crichton costume to suddenly walk on, essentially of course the crew loved it, in a hospital gown with no back on it, which of course they all thought was highly amusing. And then to do that scene, I found that scene very hard to do because I was so used to having all that rubber on my head, to suddenly not have it. And I can't watch it. It's one of the one piece of television I've ever done that I can watch Red Dwarf, old episodes of Red Dwarf, quite enjoy them because I love everyone else's performances. And it's not me, it's that bloke with the head like a half tube rubber tip pencil. But that one I find I can't watch. It's just too painful, too awkward. I can't stand it. That said, the photographs that Craig had, which I think by the time you see the one that's been broadcast, we knew what was on the photographs. They were quite interesting photographs that the crew had taken for us, pretty specific to the plot. Well, there's a question. I know, I'm beginning to see questions. I can see someone. Oh, hello, sir.
Hello, Rob. During your time on Carpool, have you ever got lost before picking up a guest? Any funny moments during the time?
Well, basically, I mean, the most recent one is a classic example, the one that is on that went out yesterday, which was a charity carpool, a charity special for Twit Relief, connection with Comic Relief, and I did it in a Tesla electric sports car. I was very behind the Tesla delivering car, and the wonderful woman who did it, Relly Annette Brown, who was the winner of the competition, and we drove for, I think it's actually about 24 minutes, very happy, talking away, really, really on the case, brilliant conversation, she's a very bright woman, and I hadn't switched cameras on. So that was a fairly big fuck up, but generally, no, I don't get lost, I don't think. I'm trying to remember if I've had trouble finding anyone. No, I've generally been okay. I mean, sat-navs, I'm afraid I do rely on quite heavily, and, you know, I sort of pre-arrange it. So, but certainly we got, when I was driving Patrick Stewart, for instance, we did get lost. I didn't quite know where I was, and I thought he would know, because it was in his locality. He had no clue. So he was relying on me a bit there. And also, the best one was Paul Daniels, when I first did Paul Daniels. I was driving near his house, he lives out in Berkshire, and he hadn't got a clue where we were. And I really didn't have a clue, because we were on a very little lane, and we just kept going, it was fine, you know, not too bad. So I generally don't get lost, and thankfully, and I'm touching wood as I say this, I also haven't had an accident yet, but I have recorded 104 carpools now, so it's, you know, I've clocked up a few. So I do drive very slowly and very carefully. Can I ask a question of you guys? Can you put your hands up if you've never seen carpool and don't know what it is?
Naughty!
I'm behind you. There is a few. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just very quickly explain. It's on the internet. It's on YouTube and it's on iTunes and it's on everything else that you can get it on. All it is I give someone a lift in the car, and we have a conversation, and that's it. It's very simple. It was on day over Christmas and New Year. There'll be a new series on day later this year, and it's very low key, and there's all sorts of different people that do it, from people you've seen on Red Dwarf to people you've never seen on Red Dwarf. You know, there's a lot of people I think who can't been on telly or famous that are interesting and done weird things. So that's all. I won't go on about it anymore.
I actually did want to ask you this, something that sort of relates to carpool, which is
Right.
sort of what first drew you to creating television for the web, and what do you think the best advantage is? Because you're obviously a big proponent of the idea of putting content out there.
Yeah, I mean, I am really interested in it because I have been for a long time, and I did try a long, long time ago when it was way too soon. You know, when people still had dial-up 14K modems, it took them 4.5 hours to download a 3-second sketch with Nigel Player in it. You know, it was like we were sort of ahead of our time in some ways. This was pre-YouTube, and YouTube really changed that whole thing and made it possible to do. But I mean, I'm fascinated by it simply because you can do it. I mean, Carpool was an experiment, and I wanted to see if it was possible to do a long-running series that you put out on the internet and see if anybody watched it. And I'm very proud and grateful that I just passed 4 million downloads on iTunes a couple of months ago, which is, I just think, staggering, because that show has got no PR, no funding, no budget. It's done in my car. You know, the people who've been taking part have been very generous. You know, so it's been an amazing experience to do. And it sort of proves that the model can work. About just over a third of the viewers that watch Carpool regularly are overseas: Australia, America, Canada, New Zealand, Hong Kong. Big Carpool following in Hong Kong. Strangely enough.
Hi, Robert.
Hiya.
This is like going back to what you were doing like in the B-Web B days back in like 10 years ago. Do you have any idea, like plans or like any recollections of let's really talk about ourproblems.com?
Well, I mean, it was great fun to do. Nigel Planer and I have been friends for a long time, and in some ways played